Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. This video has been super highly requested and I'm finally getting a chance to sit down and really talk you through it. So today's video is going to be all about how I take notes and how I study in nursing school. If you're new here, hi, my name's Abby. I make videos all about nursing school. I can't believe it, but I am in my last year. I'm a senior in my nursing program. I graduate in April, which is November, December, January, February, March, April. Like 6 months. I'm gonna be a nurse, what the heck, that's so weird. I'm super stoked, but I haven't filmed this video just because I really wanted to feel like I knew what my study routine was and how I took notes in the program before I made a video about this. And this has been a process and a long time coming. I finally feel like I'm at a space where I'm comfortable sharing this information. And as a little disclaimer before I get started, I do want to say, not everybody learns the same. Not everybody should study the same. What works for me may not work for you. Just because it works for me doesn't mean you should do it. That's all I have to say. Don't be like, oh, Abby on YouTube said that this is how she studies, so I need to study that way, and when I studied that way, I didn't do well. So, no. Everybody studies different. Just because this works for me may not mean it works for you. Don't do what I do just because I do it. I'm just telling you what I do because y'all have asked. If you're new here, hi, my name's Abby. I'm super excited that you're here. If you haven't already, go ahead and go down below and click the little subscribe button and the bell, and it will just notify you anytime I post a video. Okay, we're gonna jump on in. So first, I'm gonna tell you the process that I go through with taking notes, and then I'll tell you how I take those notes and apply them to study. The first thing that I do is go through my syllabus. So I will put a picture of the syllabus right here. There is one column in my syllabus that is basically details everything we kind of need to know for the test for that category. And I will basically type out a Word document with all the things that that column says, and I'll do that for every topic that's going to be on each exam, and I'll do that for every exam. I'll insert an example of the syllabus, and then I'll insert an example of the document that I make all right here. I don't have a blank one or else I would show you. So those are the first few steps. I'll go through the syllabus, I'll look it over, and I'll make a blank Word document. Then I take that Word document and I'll either leave it on my computer or I'll print it out. It kind of just depends. If I'm in a class where the teacher talks really fast and I know that it's not possible for me to write everything she's saying as fast as I need to, I'll leave it in my computer and I will just type in as she's talking. If I'm in a class that I know I can write fast enough, I'll print it out and I'll write in what she's saying. So step one, make the document, go through the syllabus and make the document. Step two, I'll either print out the document or I'll leave it on my computer. Step three is I go through my textbook. So for this class specifically, you cannot get through this class without reading the book. That isn't like that for every class. I don't do this for every class. I don't always read the book. I've not always been an advocate of reading just because sometimes I don't think the book is the best option. So sometimes I don't do it. But in this class, you have to read the book. I will either leave the Word document in my computer or I'll print it out and I will go through the book. So I will read the assigned chapters for each topic and I'll highlight in the book, and then whatever I highlighted, whatever I thought was important, I will write into the document. So I'm gonna show you. So this is an example of the Word document that I created, and as you can see, there's a bunch of typed out stuff here. That's just the syllabus. You can also see down here there is information written in black, and then there's information written in purple. The information that I wrote in black is what I got from the textbook. So anything I get from reading the book, I will write in black. And you don't have to use the book to do this. If you don't feel the book is useful for the class that you're in, then use whatever resources you have. So I've done this with the textbook. Sometimes my classes will do little online videos that we can watch before going to class that kind of just teach the information to prep you for the class. I'll do those, I'll take notes on those. Whatever like alternative information source you have that you can use before going to class, I recommend doing it and taking notes on it. So I'll take all those notes from the book or whatever resource I'm using in black, and then I will take this to class. If I'm doing it on the computer, because like I said earlier, if I know my teacher talks too fast and I can't write fast enough, I'll leave this document on the computer and type in my notes from the book in black, and then I'll go to class and you can see there's a bunch of information in purple, like all throughout here, and like red over here. That is information from the teacher. So the information from the book or whatever extra resource you're using should be in black, and then I'll pick a color, and anything the teacher talks about while I'm in class, I will write about in color. So I have black and color just to help me differentiate what was in the book and what did the teacher say. I will just do that through class. I'll listen as she's talking and I'll just make notes in color, and I do this a lot. So now we kind of get into the how I study part. I'll take this home and I'll print out more copies of the same blank document that I made initially, and I write it again and again and again. So This is the second one that I did. Literally so much information. This is all just from class and from the book. You can see I have a bunch of colors. I have blue and some red. I have pink on the back. So like I said, I just differentiate each topic by color. It kind of helps it stand out in my brain. And I write these things over and over and over again. So that's one way that I study, is rewriting. So back to the steps that I took. I went through the syllabus and I made that blank document. I filled in the document with notes from the book or whatever resource you have. I take that document to class and I fill it out in class. And then I come home, print out a new blank document and fill it in over and over and over and over again. Rewriting is what works for me. It's what makes things stick in my brain. It really helped. It may not be what works for everybody, but it's what works for me, and you guys want to know what works for me, so that's why I'm sharing it. Also, I write in colors. So I'll write in black for general stuff, and anything that's important, I'll write in a color associated with that topic. So burns, I did in purple. Anything that I felt was important, I wrote in purple, because in my head, in tests, I'll be sitting in a test and I'll close my eyes and I can picture burns and I can picture thermal, and next to it I wrote #1 most common in purple. I swear I can see the colors, I can see what I wrote, and it's because I use different colors. So if you're not color coding to study, I totally recommend it. Pick a color per topic or however you want to do it. I will just fill out these little documents that I created from the syllabus. I feel like using the syllabus is a great resource because your teachers are the ones that write your tests and are the ones that teach the class, and they're the ones that write the syllabus. So if they write the syllabus and they make the test, a lot of the times they make it from content that's on the syllabus. So if you're going through and making sure you're checking everything off that the syllabus asks you to know about, you should be good to go. I will fill those out a couple of times, and then usually for like my final round of studying, probably like the night before an exam or a couple days before an exam, I will print out that document blank. I'll get all my colors out and I will fill it in as much as I can without looking at my notes, just because that ultimately is what an exam is, filling in the information without looking at your notes. If I can fill it in on this document without looking at my notes, I should be able to recall the information on the test. So then another study resource that I've done for other classes and this class is I've used these little documents. You can see up here I wrote spinal injuries, and this says pathophysiology, and it just has like a spot to fill in over there. This says risk factors, clinical manifestations, diagnostic, and nursing intervention. So this is basically everything you'd likely need to know unless you're in a pharmacology class where you need to know meds, but even that could come under interventions. And I will just fill those in and use colors the same way I did. So this is for a different test. Spinal injuries I did in purple, but you can see I just went across with the patho. There weren't really any risk factors because spinal injuries can happen from like anything. A car accident, falling off a horse, diving into a pool, all sorts of stuff. So it isn't like you're pre-genetically disposed to spinal cord injuries. So there weren't really any risk factors. But the clinical manifestations I broke down into body system. So I have respiratory, cardiac, skin, GI, temperature, vasculature, pain, and I just kind of break it down from there, and I will print a bunch of these blank documents and fill them out for each topic. So spinal injuries, I did one. This one I split into two. I did heart failure and pulmonary hypertension. And again, patho, risk factors, clinical manifestations, which is basically your signs and symptoms, diagnostics, and nursing interventions. So I'll fill those out a bunch. And again, with the rewriting, when I got to the point that I decided I wanted to do these on my own without looking at my notes, I made these. So this is basically just like my own version of this, because this one's heart failure and pulmonary hypertension, and you can see heart failure, pulmonary hypertension, and everything underneath of it. So patho, risk factors, signs and symptoms, which is the same as clinical manifestations, diagnostics, and interventions, and same for down here. That's basically how I study. I just rewrite things over and over again, and then when I get to the end of studying and I feel like I really know the content, I'll go through practice questions. If you have access to practice questions, I definitely recommend doing them. If you don't have access, you can check out a website called Nursing. I'll put their logo right here. They're a phenomenal resource. I've worked with them before. I still use their stuff regularly. I love them. They have a ton of free resources and some paid resources where you can access practice questions. But as far as I know, a lot of schools provide their students with online test banks where you can have access to practice questions. So if you have access to those kind of questions, I definitely recommend doing them. I try to do them at the end just because I know that rewriting things a lot tends to help me the most. but going through practice questions is also super helpful because it's gonna get your brain to think like a nurse. What they're asking you, the way they're asking you, the way their questions are worded, kind of what they're looking for based on the topics that you're covering. So I definitely recommend doing those too. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. This is pretty much the way that I've studied for my entire nursing program. So I really hope it helps you. If you're confused, you have any questions, you need clarification, leave those in the comments below and I'd be happy to get back to you as fast as I can. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.